Platform Media International PMI Political Arena. Tonight, the BC, when I say BC, British Columbia elections are due on May 9th. Contestants all over the province are jostling for positions for representations in the House of Assembly in Victoria. And bring one of our very, very good friends who is contesting in the provincial election slated for May 9th to the studio. And I have him here. His name is Peter Njenga. Peter, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe.
Peter, our viewers want to know, because the last time you were in our studio, you came as a representative of the Liberal Party in the federal elections.
That's correct.
And tonight, I have you on another platform. And viewers who have been watching this program and want to know, because so that you don't send wrong signals, you are coming tonight as an independent candidate. What happened?
That's correct. Well, in Canada, we have got two systems. In fact, three systems of government. Yes. The first one is federal, which we were talking about the other time. And the next one is the provincial, where we select our own members, members of legislative assembly. And they go with the ridings or constituencies. Yes. Then we have got the local, right, which we select our mayor of the cities and also the councillors. So this time, right now, we are selecting, or we are electing our members. We call them MLAs.
Members of the legislative
members of legislative assembly of BC, and they are located in Victoria. So that's where I am, and you asked why I go independent. The issue is I am a liberal at heart. And I think it has been written even in the newspaper. I think you saw the research. Yes. Why I went independent is because our premier, who is Christy Clark, I wrote to her that I want to represent one of the ridings, and she did not answer. The whole party did not seem to respond or wish or try to tell me what I should do. Then I wrote again and again, and then I said, okay, I want to represent our community. The community needs proper representation. Yes. That's why I decided to go independent. It is a very difficult battle when you are doing alone. But I have got community, which the community itself told me, Peter, we want you to go ahead. Right. Don't listen to what the parties are saying, just come and represent us.
Well, you know, in this political dispensation that we operate today, it's very important that you have an independent mind, and that's why people go for independent candidates, because you don't have anybody that will have to cage you, and don't have to gauge people's you have to gauge the interests of your local community and not the party's interests, and that's why people tend to go with independent candidates.
That's correct. You know, when you go through a party, you go to toe the party lines, yes. Joe. Yes. So if you are in NDP or you go for Liberal, you got to say exactly what they are saying. But I have got kind of independent mind.
A Republican mind.
Yeah. So I reflect what I believe, and I say what the community is asking me to do.
Great.
And when I'm going door knocking, talking like today, actually I knocked about 150 door knocking. And they are telling me, Peter, if you are independent, we will support you.
You know,
very good support.
I must commend your resilience, because in the last election, in the federal elections, you came very, very strongly in the second position.
That's correct.
And I thought the Liberal Party was going to count on that because you have been around. But surprisingly, leaving you out is quite a surprise to us and also to the viewers.
Yeah, well, the viewers should know the politics in BC is a bit complicated, because what happens, the federal liberals and federal conservatives join together to make a provincial party called
Liberal Party.
Liberal Party, or BC, today BC's Liberal Party. So it's very difficult politically to align yourself. It's really difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are representing Surrey South.
Yes.
And one of the potential issues...
We call it Surrey South.
Surrey South.
Yes.
And one of the very serious issues there has to do with water.
That's correct.
Because there was a reported case that where some kind of debris, which was not too good, was found in the water around the area.
Yeah, actually what happened is that the water was tested, especially in schools.
Yes.
And the lead, you know lead?
Yes.
L-E-A-D,
yes.
lead level was beyond the accepted level.
Yes.
Right? And then, you know, when it becomes more, if you take more lead, it may affect your mind and kidneys and even death, right? So there was an outcry, and they tried to check. They did a lot of testing. But they found, actually it was reported in CBC News, that about 44% of the schools
had lead.
Had lead, which was beyond, yes. And so they recommended three kind of recommendations according to the education administrators, not minister.
Okay.
They recommended, first of all, flushing the water. When the water comes, right, you open the tap for 2 minutes. That's called flushing.
Yeah.
That was one measure. The other measure was to replace the faucets, right, where you open the water. And now they are trying to control it, but in my opinion, that is just a short way of doing it. We need strategically to think about the future. We need to install infrastructure to ensure that the pipes, the faucets, and the water itself is clean.
Okay.
Because what we are drinking basically is very good, by the way. It is tested, but when it comes to the taps, because the taps have been, they were installed long time ago, right? Yeah. When lead was acceptable, means of construction of such things was acceptable, but now is no longer acceptable. So there is that issue. So I'm requesting, right, the government, the provincial government and the local government to ensure that our children are taken care of, right? Because if we spoil their health, it's costly in the long run, and also, right, it's not good.
So that's one issue that's very, very paramount to the interest of your riders.
That's correct, yeah.
Surrey South.
Yes.
So it's good that you are addressing it now. I hope they are watching you. Now, one other issue is the affordable housing politics in British Columbia. The Liberal government has adopted an issue that is very controversial. And I want to ask you what you intend to do when you come, if you are elected.
The first thing is to fight for, and I mean fight quote unquote, fight for affordable housing. Yeah. Most of, especially the people who are retiring right now, Joe, if you don't have pension, right, then it means because of the mortgage cost is very high. When the house prices goes up, right, then you got to pay more mortgage. The amount of money you pay is high, and now we expect some increase in interest rates. So what I'm asking the provincial government, including the local government, is to plan for affordable housing which every person can afford. Every person in the province, and even in Canada, is entitled for shelter.
That's local affordable housing.
Correct.
There's this one that I wanted to ask you. What's your position on that, about this tax-free break to foreign investors?
Oh yeah, well, I think it was a good idea that, by the way, they controlled the market in one way, because when they introduced the tax on foreign investors, people who are not residents and people who are not the citizens of the country,
Yeah.
the market skyrocketing,
Yes.
prices went down.
Yeah.
I'm a realtor.
Okay.
So I've seen this. I'm an accountant and as well as a realtor. So
Okay.
what is happening is that I think they took a good measure, right?
Yeah.
But it in itself alone cannot control or cannot provide affordable housing.
Okay.
We need the provincial government to invest in affordable housing.
Okay.
They were doing some years back, but they stopped.
You stopped. Okay.
We need actually for them to come and start constructing that. Because if we believe or we let the developers, private developers, continue constructing, it's good.
Okay.
They're making money and they are providing housing.
Yeah.
And by the way, they are increasing the supply of housing. When you increase the supply and there is demand, the prices,
Yeah.
the supply and demand.
Okay.
So they're doing good, but we need to control.
Okay. One other important issue, which is which is of interest to platform media as an organization and us as immigrants, is the politics of integration. If you look at Victoria, the only thing brown in Victoria is the decks that the legislators in Victoria are sitting with. There's no admixture of race. As a matter of fact, I wonder if there's any black person in the Legislative Assembly. That has been something that we have to confront as a media organization. There's no black person in the Legislative Assembly in Victoria.
And I ask, I think it is a good question to ask. And I think the black community, because although I'm part of the black community, we need to feel represented. We need to be integrated into the system.
Yes.
We don't want to feel
Taxation without
yeah.
representation
Yeah, correct. So what has happened is that for the last 8 years, when Christy Clark has been in the premier, we can see somehow she sidelined the black community. That's wrong. It is very wrong. However, and when she refused to give me the go-ahead to run for the for MLA position as a liberal, I asked her that question. It is there in the Facebook. I told her, well, does that mean you cannot open up for the black community? Luckily, yesterday, right, there was a guy called Duke. Yes, and I said, I commented, I commented.
And I saw your comment in that place.
Yeah, I said.
Is that the case that Chris's class has opened her door?
That's correct. That's
well, I follow these things quite.
I think that's good. Thank you. Yeah.
It's a good thing. I also bring Garrison Duke to this studio because he was my former boss.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
Yes.
a good guy.
Yes, a good guy.
Yeah.
So it's good a thing that black people are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
That the only thing we asking as a media house is that it's not enough that they're contesting. The party should support them, and they should be given the enabling environment to represent the people. As a matter of fact, this Surrey where we are sitting, the local government or the city of Surrey, I cannot count a single employee in the Surrey City Council.
I have not done that in that research. Maybe is something I can do. But I got to say this. It's not a question of black, white, yellow, or Asian. It's a question of opening to everybody.
Giving everybody a level playing field.
Level playing field.
Yes.
Once we go to the employment, it's a question of the qualifications.
Yes.
It's not a question of who knows what. Right?
Yeah.
We need level playing ground. And nobody can shake me about that. Because if we don't, then the country does not practice the democracy which our forefathers came to give us.
Okay. So, Mr. Peter Njenga, and I wish you the very best of luck in the Surrey South Legislative Assembly elections on May 9th.
Thank you.
And we will be following every inch of the way where your elections, in your campaign and all that. Platform media will be following you, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. The only thing I can ask the viewers is that if you are around here, especially in Surrey or in BC, I need help. Not me alone, but everybody who is studying or giving the name, forwarding the name to represent the people need help.
Yes.
Right? The other day, Joe, my opponent, who is Stephanie, was attacked. His office was broken into,
yeah.
and I was one of the first people to condemn that.
Great.
Because we got to feel free.
Of inclusion.
Yeah, we need clean, democratic way of selecting our representatives.
Yes.
Otherwise, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. I wish you the best of luck.
And
I hope to interview you next in Victoria.
Of course.
So viewers, that's Peter Njenga, the independent candidate, and he's calling upon you, everybody who is watching him. If you know his program are very attractive, please come out on May 9th to support him and vote if you are convinced of his political manifestos. And as a matter of fact, Peter Njenga, you're also asking for a band of volunteers.
Correct.
To help you knock on the doors and do the paperwork.
Yeah, in fact, I need about, if I can get 100.
Yes.
Right? I've got few, but I want 100 people from Surrey to come and door knock.
Yes.
We need to talk to them.
Yes.
And the importance of door knocking is that you represent yourself and you tell the voter, what are you going to do?
Okay.
Who are you?
All right.
Yeah, that's important.
So thank you very much. Viewers, that's Peter Njenga, the independent candidate for the May 9 elections. And I can only wish him the best of luck. And on behalf of Platform Media, I'm Joe Ehizode on Political Arena. Signing out tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
That's